We now start chapter 7. The title of this chapter is Classification of Singularities. This chapter contains 3 modules. Module 1, Riemann's theorem. Module 2 is zeros of an analytic function, and module 3 is uniqueness theorem and its applications. We now discuss module 1. The title is Riemann's theorem. A function fz is analytic at alpha, then alpha is called a regular point. Otherwise, it is called a singular point or singularity of fz. Basically, there are 2 types of singularities. One is isolated singularity and another is non-isolated singularity. Based on LoRa series, isolated singularities can be classified into 3 types. Number 1, removable singularity, number 2, pole, and number 3, essential singularity. Besides LoRa series, we can also define these types of singularities. We then prove an important theorem named as Riemann's theorem. Then we will consider the nature of the function at its pole. We provide some example in this module. Now we start our presentation. So we now start Riemann's theorem. A point z equal to z0 is called a regular point or an ordinary point of a function fz if fz is analytic at z0. Otherwise, z0 is called a singular point or a singularity of the function fz. Basically, there are 2 types of singularities. One is isolated singularity and another is non-isolated singularity. A point z equal to z0 is said to be an isolated singularity of a function fz if there exists a deleted neighborhood of z0 in which the function is analytic. In other words, a point z equal to z0 is said to be an isolated singularity of a function fz if there exists a neighborhood of z0 which contains no other singular point of fz except z0. As for example, z equal to 0 is an isolated singularity of the function fz equal to 1 by z. Since fz is analytic in the open disk, 0 less than mod z less than r are positive, and for gz equal to 1 by z minus 1 into z minus 2, z equal to 1 and 2 are isolated singular points since the function is analytic in the annular region 1 less than mod z less than 2. Now we define non-isolated singularity. A point z equal to z0 is called non-isolated singularity of a function fz if every neighborhood of z0 contains at least one singularity of fz other than z0. For the function fz equal to capital log z, the principal logarithm, z equal to 0 is a non-isolated singularity, and moreover open minus infinity and closed 0 is the set of all non-isolated singularities of the function fz equal to capital log z. Also for gz equal to 1 by sin 1 by z, z equal to 1 by n pi, where n is any integer, are the singular points, while 0 is non-isolated singularity, because every neighborhood of z equal to 0 contains a singularity of gz. Isolated singularities are classified into three types. Number 1, removable singularity, number 2, pole, and number 3, essential singularity. If z0 is an isolated singularity of fz, then in some deleted neighborhood of z0, the function fz is analytic, and hence its Laurent series expansion exists as fz equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n plus summation n equal to 1 to infinity b n z minus z0 to the power minus n, where 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than r, and r is the distance from z0 to the nearest singularity of fz other than z0 itself. If z0 is the only singularity, then r is infinity. The portion of the series involving negative powers of z minus z0, that is summation n equal to 1 to infinity b n z minus z0 to the power minus n, is called the principal part of f at z0, while the series of non-negative powers of z minus z0, that is the series summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n, is called the regular part of f at z0. Now we define what is called removable singularity. If all the coefficients b n in the principal part of Laurent expansion are 0, then z0 is called a removable singularity of f. In this case, we can make f regular in mod z minus z0 less than r by suitably defining its value at z0. For instance, we consider the function fz equal to sin z by z, z not equal to 0, and 0 if z equal to 0. This function is analytic everywhere except z equal to 0. The Laurent expansion about z equal to 0 has the form fz equal to sin z by z, that is equal to 1 by z into z minus z cube by factorial 3 plus z5 by factorial 5 minus etc., and that is equal to 1 minus z square by factorial 3 plus z4 by factorial 5 minus etc. Since no negative power of z appears, the point z equal to 0 is a removable singularity of f. Now we define pole. If the principal part of f at z0 contains a finite number of terms, then f is said to have a pole at z0. If bm, where m greater equal to 1, is the last non-vanishing coefficient in the principal part, then we can write fz equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n plus b1 by z minus z0 plus b2 by z minus z0 square plus up to bm by z minus z0 to the power m, where 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than r, and the pole is said to be of order m. If m is 1, then we call the pole as a simple pole. As for example, the function fz equal to z square minus 3z plus 4 by z minus 3, that is equal to 3 plus z minus 3 plus 4 by z minus 3. This function has a simple pole at z equal to 3. Also, the function fz equal to e to the power z by z minus 2 square has a pole of order 2 at z equal to 2, because we can write fz equal to e square into e to the power z minus 2 by z minus 2 square, that is equal to e square by z minus 2 square plus e square by z minus 2 plus e square by factorial 2 plus e square by factorial 3 into z minus 2, etc., where 0 less than mod z minus 2 less than infinity. Now we define essential singularity. If the principal part of f at z0 contains infinitely many non-zero terms, then z0 is called an essential singularity of f. As for example, the function fz equal to e to the power 1 by z, that is equal to 1 plus 1 by z plus 1 by factorial 2 z square plus up to 1 by factorial n z to the power n plus etc., where 0 less than mod z less than infinity has an essential singularity at z equal to 0. Now remark, let us consider the expression summation n equal to 0 to infinity z to the power n by 3 to the power n plus summation n equal to 1 to infinity 1 by z to the power n, where 1 less than mod z less than 3. This expression has infinite number of negative powers of z. So here this is negative powers of z. Even then z equal to 0 is not an essential singularity. This is because the region of convergence is not a deleted neighborhood of the origin. In fact, it is the LoRa expansion of the function 2z by 1 minus z into z minus 3 in the annular region 1 less than mod z less than 3. Actually, this function f has simple poles at z equal to 1 and also at z equal to 3. So, alternative definition of removable singularity, pole and essential singularity. A singular point z0 of the function fz is called a removable singularity of fz if limit z tending to z0 fz exists finitely. A singular point z0 of the function fz is called a pole of fz of multiplicity n if limit z tending to z0 z minus z0 to the power n into fz equal to a not equal to 0. If n equal to 1, then z0 is called a simple pole. A singular point z0 of the function fz is called an essential singularity of fz if there exists no finite value of n for which limit z tending to z0 z minus z0 to the power n fz equal to a not equal to 0. So now we prove a result. The function f has a pole of order m at z0 if and only if in some neighborhood of z0 f can be expressed as fz equal to phi z by z minus z0 to the power m, where phi z is analytic at z0 and phi z0 not equal to 0. So proof, first we assume that z0 is a pole of f of order m. Then in some neighborhood of z0 f has a LoRa series expansion of the form fz equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n plus summation n equal to 1 to m b n z minus z0 to the power minus n, where Bm is not equal to 0. Now putting nu z equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n, we see that fz equal to nu z plus b1 by z minus z0 plus b2 by z minus z0 square up to bm by z minus z0 to the power m, and that is by simple calculation we obtain phi z by z minus z0 to the power m, where phi z equal to z minus z0 to the power m nu z plus b1 z minus z0 to the power m minus 1 plus up to bm, and obviously phi z is analytic at z0 and phi z0 equal to bm not equal to 0. Next we assume that in some neighborhood of z0 f can be expressed as fz equal to phi z by z minus z0 to the power m, where phi z is analytic at z0 and phi z0 not equal to 0. Expanding phi z in Taylor series about z0, we obtain phi z equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n, that is equal to a0 plus a1 into z minus z0 plus a2 into z minus z0 square plus a m minus 1 z minus z0 to the power m minus 1 plus summation n equal to m to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n, where a0 equal to phi z0 not equal to 0. Thus we obtain fz equal to phi z by z minus z0 to the power m, that is equal to a0 by z minus z0 to the power m plus a1 by z minus z0 to the power m minus 1 plus a m minus 1 by z minus z0 plus summation n equal to m to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n minus m, which is the LoRa expansion of f about z0. Since a0 not equal to 0, it follows that z0 is a pole of f of order m. This proves the theorem. So far we have discussed about singularities of a function f, and we see that there are two types of singularity: isolated singularity and non-isolated singularity. Based on LoRa series, we can classify isolated singularity in three types: removable singularity, poles and essential singularity. We also note that if a function f has a pole at z equal to z0 of order m, then in some deleted neighborhood of z0, the function f can be expressed as fz equal to phi z by z minus z0 to the power m, where phi z is analytic at z0 and phi z0 is not equal to 0. We now prove an important result known as Riemann's theorem, and then we show that the nature of the function at its pole. After that we will provide some example. Now we start our presentation. We now state Riemann's theorem. If a function f is bounded and analytic throughout a domain 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta, then f is either analytic at z0 or else z0 is a removable singularity of f. Proof: since f is analytic throughout the domain 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta, f can be represented in the LoRa series about z0 of the form fz equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n plus summation n equal to 1 to infinity bn z minus z0 to the power minus n. Let C denote the circle having center at z0 and radius r, which is less than delta. Then putting z minus z0 equal to r e to the power I theta, where 0 less or equal to theta less or equal to 2 pi, we obtain Bn equal to 1 by 2 pi I integral over c fz by z minus z0 to the power minus n plus 1 dz, that is equal to r to the power n by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi f of z0 plus r e to the power I theta into e to the power I n theta d theta, where n is 1, 2, etc. Since f is bounded, there exists a positive number m such that modulus fz less or equal to m for all z in the given domain. Therefore, we obtain mod Bn is equal to r to the power n by 2 pi modulus integral over 0 to 2 pi f of z0 plus r e to the power I theta into e to the power I n theta d theta, which is less or equal to m r to the power n for n equal to 1, 2, etc. Since r can be chosen arbitrarily small, we obtain Bn equal to 0 for n equal to 1, 2, etc. Thus, we obtain Fz equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 to the power n in 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta. This shows that either f is analytic at alpha or else z0 is a removable singularity of f. This proves the theorem. Now, we prove another result. If z0 is a pole of the function f, then limit z tending to z0 fz is equal to infinity. So, let z0 be a pole of f of order m. Then in some neighborhood of z0, we can write fz equal to phi z by z minus z0 to the power m, where phi z is analytic at z0 and phi z0 not equal to 0. Since phi z is analytic at z0, it is continuous at z0. Therefore, for epsilon equal to half modulus phi z0 obviously greater than 0, there exists a delta positive such that modulus phi z minus phi z0 is less than epsilon equal to half mod phi z0 for mod z minus z0 less than delta. Therefore, mod phi z, which is greater equal to mod phi z0 minus modulus phi z minus phi z0, that is greater than modulus phi z0 minus half mod phi z0, that is equal to half mod phi z0 for modulus z minus z0 less than delta. Thus, for mod z minus z0 less than delta, we obtain mod fz greater than half mod phi z0 by mod z minus z0 to the power m. Let g be a positive number, however large. Then mod fz greater than g if half mod phi z0 by mod z minus z0 to the power m is greater than g and mod z minus z0 is less than delta. That is, if mod z minus z0 less than mod phi z0 by 2g whole 1 by m and mod z minus z0 less than delta. That is, if mod z minus z0 less than delta 1, where delta 1 equal to minimum of delta and mod phi z0 by 2g to the power 1 by m. This shows that limit z tending to z0 fz equal to infinity. This proves the result. Now, we prove another result. If fz has an isolated singularity at z equal to z0 and fz tends to infinity as z tends to z0, then fz has a pole at z equal to z0. So, prove since fz tends to infinity as z tends to z0 for a given r greater than 0, there exists a positive delta such that fz is analytic for 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta, and mod fz greater than r whenever 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta. In particular, fz not equal to 0 for 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta, and so gz which is equal to 1 by fz is analytic and bounded by 1 by r in this deleted neighborhood of z0. Therefore, applying Riemann's theorem, we see that gz has a removable singularity at z0, and we may write gz equal to 1 by fz equal to a1 z minus z0 plus a2 z minus z0 square plus etc., and 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta. Since gz not equal to 0 for 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than delta, not all the coefficients of gz are 0. This means that there is a k which is greater or equal to 1 such that a k is the first non-zero coefficient of gz. Therefore, gz equal to 1 by fz equal to a k into z minus z0 to the power k plus a k plus 1 z minus z0 to the power k plus 1 plus etc. So that 1 by z minus z0 to the power k fz equal to a k plus 1 z minus z0 plus etc., which tends to a k as z tends to z0. And from this we obtain limit z tends to z0, z minus z0 to the power k into fz equal to 1 by a k, which is not equal to 0. This shows that fz has a pole of order k at z equal to z0. This proves the theorem. So, now we consider an example. Discuss singularity of the function fz equal to z by z square plus 4. So, z square plus 4 is equal to z plus 2i into z minus 2i. Therefore, the function fz has singularities at z equal to 2i and at z equal to minus 2i. Since limit z tending to 2i, z minus 2i fz equal to half not equal to 0, fz has a simple pole at z equal to 2i. Again, since limit z tending to minus 2i, z plus 2i into fz is also half not equal to 0, it follows that fz has a simple pole at z equal to minus 2i. Another example, classify the nature of singularity of the function fz given by e to the power minus z by z minus 3 to the power 4. We note that z equal to 3 is the only singularity of fz, because at z equal to 3 the function is undefined. To find the nature of singularity of f at z equal to 3, we expand f in a Laurent series valid in a deleted neighborhood of 0 less than mod z minus 3 less than r, where r is some positive number. Since fz equal to, we can write this equal to e to the power minus 3 e to the power minus z minus 3 by z minus 3 to the power 4, that is equal to e to the power minus 3 into 1 by z minus 3 to the power 4 minus 1 by z minus 3 to the power cube plus 1 by factorial 2 z minus 3 square minus 1 by factorial 3 z minus 3 plus etc. It is clear that fz has a pole of order 4 at z equal to 3, because this term 1 is coefficient of power of 4. Alternatively, the result follows from the fact that limit z tending to 3 z minus 3 to the power 4 fz is equal to limit z tending to 3 e to the power minus z, that is equal to 1 by e to the power cube, which is non-zero. At the end of this module, we came to know about different types of singularities of a complex valued function fz. We came to know about removable singularity, pole and essential singularity. We proved Riemann's theorem, which states that if f is analytic and bounded in a region 0 less than mod z minus alpha less than delta, then either alpha is a removable singularity of f or else f is analytic at alpha. We also proved that if f has a pole at z equal to z0, then mod fz tends to infinity as z tending to z0. We also see that if f has an isolated singularity at z0 and mod fz tending to infinity as z tends to z0, then f has a pole at the point z0. We also provide some example related to this module. For more problems, you can see the self-assessment part as well as you can see any reference book. This ends module 1 of chapter 7.